Hey ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the channel. My name is KPZ. You are here on the home of the slightly above average ship review. We are on Shatter. We are top tier in the Yoshino. This is my first match behind the wheel of Yoshino. Want to apologize for the delay in the video. Had a family health emergency, so I've been on the phone a lot back east. So far, no news is good news, so we'll just leave it at that. All right, so I don't play cruisers, so please don't expect much, and you might not be let down in this video. But we're rolling out the Yoshino. It is a heavy cruiser. We're going to go over the ship in the port and the commander build afterwards. I'm treading very lightly because I don't remember playing this before. It turns out I didn't really even know that this is my first match in it. But the way I see it, we've got some good armor piercing. We've got some pretty standard Japanese high-powered HE. And we've got some torpedoes here on Yoshino. You could go wild with this thing with the torpedoes and mount a Mod 2 that allows 20 km torpedoes. I don't recommend that for various reasons that we'll get into. Here I'm going to just nose up the bow of the ship up to this island and run aground. And the reason for that is so I can creep out and just get my turrets out from behind the rock and then back up. Because I don't play cruisers a lot, so I didn't want to get dev-struck right off the bat here in this match. All right, so we're creeping out here in Yoshino. Of course, nobody's spotting. The destroyer's in the middle of the map. Can't count on him. Got a couple enemy ships out here in Alaska. We're going to shoot at the Alaska. Actually got the rear turret around the rock. Pretty nice. Brisbane out there. Definitely going to be a target for me with this armor piercing. And as you can see, the enemy shells largely do not hit my ship. And so that's good. All right. Too close for me to say what it was, but I think right now, because refill station was active, our main battery range was over 20 km. I want to say maybe in its resting state, 18.5 to 19. That's just a wild guess based off this one match. Friendly destroyer already hiding in a smoke screen. Well, I've been radared so much lately in the destroyer, I cannot say I'm blaming him for hiding in a smoke screen at the rear of the cap circle there. Turning, hoping to get some torps out on Pommern. With this build, I want to say I think we have 12 km torps. If you mount the Torpedo Mod 2, you can get 20 km torps. That being said, I do not advise you mounting the 20 km mod simply because the interval between those torpedoes will spread out so much that most ships should be able to slip right through there. So that's why I don't advise that 20 km torpedo mod. Here we're going to launch some torps at where we think the Brisbane is going to be. And then we're going to shoot at Brisbane. All three turrets out. We are moving into the middle of the map because this side of the map looks especially heavy with the enemies. Did get a Citadel hit on Brisbane. And now I'm just gauging the movement of the Pommern. And these torpedoes are not going to hit the Pommern. We're going to shoot at the Pommern. This HE coming in, not meant for me. And we get a cap defendant flag. Just going to continue our turn. And dodge some more incoming shells there, probably from his secondaries. Continuing our turn outwards, simply because I'm the only ship on this side of the map. And so going 1v multiple ships. And a cruiser that you've never played before. And a ship class you're not especially confident in. Sounds like a great way to get killed right away. So don't do that. Don't do that. If you're like me, you're going to retreat, but protect yourself at the same time. All right, gauging the enemy. There are torpedoes in the water. We are going to dodge them due to our maneuverability, which isn't much, but it's better than nothing. I want to say our build has an especially strong rudder. It is a double rudder shift build. I didn't think about it during the time. I was saying, hey, maybe you could swap out the second mod for damage con or something like that. But if you want this kind of maneuverability to dodge torps at closer range, then you've got to mount the double rudder mod. So whether you do that or not, that's up to you. All right, torpedoes were dodged by the Pommern. I'm going to launch out here. I thought I launched initially there, and I guess I didn't, but those torpedoes look a little bit healthier. As you can see, we're 3 to 4 on 1 over here right now. Not all the ships are shooting at me, but there are at least 4 enemy ships over here. So continuing on in this vein, doesn't seem like a good idea. There's the 4th ship. So we are going to, as for help and get none, we're just going to keep running away. Don't be afraid to run away. All right, torps moving in on Pommern. 1, 2 torpedo strikes. Those are Japanese torpedoes. Max damage 26 or 23,000, maybe 767 or 676. So a big punch being packed by those torpedoes. So use them early and often here in Yoshino. We take the Pommern down to the nub. I know I shouldn't damage con just one fire, but I did anyway. Rotating to get the front 2 turrets back on target. Shots out on Pommern. Rear turret out on Pommern. I think we're going to get our first kill here. No, I guess we're not. Want to note, it looks like my right, or my, my port side launchers have already been knocked out permanently. We do get the kill on the Pommern, so just keep in mind your torpedo modules are very fragile. I would not recommend running the torpedo mod in the 4th mod slot for this ship, because that just makes them even more fragile. In theory, you could have no torpedo launchers at all. In fact, I mean, shouldn't there be a mod where you can trade a little bit of reload for tougher torpedo tubes? It would be nice. Just something to think about, everybody. Wargaming. If there's a torpedo mod which makes your torpedoes reload quicker in exchange for making them more fragile, why can't you get a torpedo mod that makes the launchers more stout, have more armor, more hit points in exchange for a longer reload? It would be nice. All right. Sorry, I'm getting lots of messages here from work and stuff like that too. Good grief. They're trying to keep me from making my videos. I won't let that happen. All right, resetting the match. We have 81,000 damage. It is 5 blue ships versus 3 red ships. The 3 red ships, well, they're all over here in my cap circle, the alpha cap. So essentially, I've been fighting almost half of the enemy team by myself. All right, here is the Alaska. We are shooting armor piercing at the Alaska. GK is over here. And so we're going to modify our heading to prevent GK from getting pens. But that being said, we are continuing to shoot at the broadside cruiser, and that is Atlanta, giving us a fewer 180 broadside right there. So obviously, I think you should keep shooting at that kind of ship. There is a Citadel hit from these guns. We're going to keep bowing towards the GK and keep shooting towards Atlanta, or Alaska, pardon me. Shooting towards the rear third of the ship. As you can see, port side torpedo launchers are kaput, and the Alaska gets finished off before we can kill him. Now looking at GK, we're shooting AP, switching over to high explosive. German ships are more prone to being caught on fire. He took a Citadel hit there. We're going to turn and get these torps off. Use them while you can before they get knocked out. Hazarded his return salvo there pretty good. Since we're shooting HE, go up towards the superstructure of the ship. Get some hits there. Really lackluster damage. Didn't start any fires. That's kind of a bummer. I kind of wish I'd kept the AP on, since he's giving us so much broadside. Again, back into the superstructure. We set him on fire and I guess make up for not getting the Alaska by kill pinching the GK for our second kill. All right, moving on the last ship. It is a Montana. We are still 5 on 1. And right now, he's not able for me to get at him because he's behind the mountain. We do have some spotter planes left to use. We also have a sonar left to use. We didn't really have to use them. I want to say I think I used one earlier sonar in the beginning of the match. We were dodging those torpedoes, and we got close to that smoke screen, but haven't really had occasion to do so because we've been fighting and kiting. That's just what the match gave us here today in Yoshino. So at this point, I think I feel pretty comfortable saying if you enjoy heavy cruisers, clearly this is not as stout as like a Stalingrad. Absolutely not. Probably not as stout as the Atlanta, or I keep saying Atlanta, as the Alaska. But that being said, you've got those very powerful Japanese torpedoes, relatively long useful range of 12 km, unmodified on those torpedoes. You know, the launchers do get knocked out very easily. Something we haven't talked about, this cruiser has pretty good AA, not great AA, but pretty good AA, at least on paper. So I think you can feel pretty confident there that if you were targeted by a carrier, that they would regret that. So all in all, I think if you like heavy cruisers, but you're looking for a little bit of a different flavor in terms of damage dealing and what you can offer to your team, I think the Yoshino might be an interesting ship for you to look at. Here, trying to get the kill with AP, and we just reloaded and fired too slowly to do that. Ship history real quick. This ship didn't exist anywhere other than paper, so nothing really to talk about. The actual ship named Yoshino is visible in the title card. All right, here we are in the victory screen, 120,876 total damage. 2 kills, couple Citadel hits, couple fires, 3 cap defended flags. We ended up just short of 300,000 silver, 5,100 plus Commander XP, ship XP, 5,400 plus Commander XP in the Yoshino. And we are 4th on the team, 22-29, base XP, 2 big kills. I'm sorry. What can I say? I'm not a cruiser player. I think there was a lot to like in this video in terms of what the ship can do. Punches maybe a little bit harder than people might think. Torpedoes, definitely a good weapon in your arsenal. I didn't want to grind this any further to see what we could do. All right, here in the Port Aiming Systems Mod 1, Steering Gears Mod 2, that might be the mod I'd be willing to swap out. Steering Gears Mod 3, and Gunfire Control System Mod 2. And here's the mod I'm talking about, Torpedo Type 93 Mod 2. As you can see, a slightly quicker reload and 8 kilometers of range, but all the other numbers take a big hit in the shorts. I would not recommend mounting Mod 2. Just one man's opinion here in World of Warships Legends. All right, moving on into the loadout. 2 charges of sonar, rather short range. Swap it for DFAA. Not needed unless you're doing a DFAA build anti-air. I wouldn't recommend that. Spotter plane, you also have the catapult fighter. Again, I think your AA is good enough to go without. And 3 charges of the repair party. You got the Epic Battle Booster on here for main battery range. I think you need that in this ship. Standard permanent camouflage and the Moon Festival flag. All right, 61,800 hit points, a 19% torpedo damage reduction with our build. That's rather weak. 3 triple 310 millimeter turrets, 18.8 kilometer firing range, 16.7 second reload, 36 second turn time. HE shells 5,100 max damage, 30% fire chance. AP shells 9,515 max damage. Take a look at the secondaries. 8 twin 100 mounts, fire out to 5.2 kilometers, 3 second reload, 1,700 HE shell max damage with a 9% fire chance. So fire chance of your main battery, not great. Fire chance of your secondaries, I'd say pretty good. Here are those quad launchers. You have 4 of them. Reload in 171 seconds, so just short of 3 minutes there. Max damage 23, 767. 12-kilometer range at 67 knots. The detectability is 1,700 meters. I would keep them in the stock config. AA defense, your secondaries are dual purpose and do count as AA. They are your longest reaching AA out to 5 km. And they are also your best damaging AA. All right, so try to get those up and running up against the carrier. I think you'll do okay. Maneuverability 35 knots, 920 meter turning circle, 6.7 second rudder shift time. So I think you can sacrifice the rudder, but I would sacrifice it in slot 2 because I think if you sacrifice it in slot 3, this time might double. Okay, that's just my guess on the rudder shift. Although I guess I could go into the port and swap it out and look, but I probably won't play this ship again. All right, detectability 12.5 on the surface, 7.8 from the air, 10.1 when firing in smoke. Stats, first game, 100% winning percentage. Let's keep it there. Main battery actually pretty accurate, in my opinion, 56%. And all these numbers you see here are from the match we just played. I'm never saying I won't play Yoshino again, just that cruisers are not a ship class I like to play. Extremely underwhelming armor for a legendary tier ship. Above water Citadel. Does this upper portion act as a quasi-turtleback? Perhaps. We are going to put the turrets and barbettes on. Equally underwhelming. Barbettes and turret faces slightly more armored. Turret faces are not sloped. We got turrets knocked out in this game. You will get turrets knocked out in the games you play. Equally underwhelming is your bow of 25 millimeters. And the even more puzzling armor belt, which is also 25 millimeters. Why would you differentiate between the two if they have the same armor thickness? That doesn't make any sense to me at all, unless it's an armor belt on top of the bow plating. All right, torpedo side plating up the side may act as some sort of spaced armor. This yellow stuff is just going to get penetrated and caught on fire. Left, right, and all over the place. So not a very robust armor profile for a quote heavy unquote cruiser, in my opinion. I definitely just don't understand an armor belt that's not any different than the bow armor. Whatever. They didn't ask my opinion. All right, here's a look at the commander, fully maxed out. Is Soroku Yamamoto. Base trait increases the pen multiplier by 6%. We have Norman Scott and Nicolai von Essen as our inspirations. Row number 1, Beyond Range. Row number 2, Igniter. We did fire HE. Japanese ships have good HE. Punch Through in row 3. Fixated in row 4. Refill Station as our legendary skill. So going all in on guns and gun damage. I think that's probably a pretty good idea in this ship. Anyway, that's the first match in the Yoshino. Like, comment, subscribe down below. Appreciate your patience, and I will see you next time.